Hi, I'm Peggy Kelly, and this is Good Morning Santa Paula. It's Thursday, September 24th, and today I'm joined by Santa Paula Mayor Rick Ariza, and he's going to update us about different things that are going on in Santa Paula, and there is plenty going on. And nice seeing you, Rick, as always.
Yes, always nice to be here, Peggy.
Great, great. You know, like I say, it's always nice to be anywhere, you know, but what are you
Exactly.
what are you going to do? So much has gone on just the last few weeks, and I know one of the things that really came as a surprise, even though not a complete shock, but was that Clint Gorman resigned, who's been a councilman now for almost 4 years, and we all know he had business reversals because of the COVID pandemic and has to move and different things like that. And I know he's going to be missed on the body, and he had already decided he wasn't going to run for re-election. So that's why I said it wasn't a complete shock. What's the next step now in the process, though? We've got 4 people now as of next Wednesday that are on the council.
Yeah, so we have been given options as to what we can do. We can do nothing and vote as a body with 4 individuals, or we can appoint. But with the election coming right up within a month and a couple of weeks, it basically would be about 3-4 meetings, because whoever is elected would be seated in December. We have not discussed it at all. We've just been given the option. Because of Brown Act rules, we can't discuss it among ourselves until it's brought to the public forum. So those are really the options. Make the appointment, and that would mean we'd have to probably agendize it, discuss it, and then come back and make the appointment. So by the time you even had that, you might be down to 1 meeting, 2 meetings. So I'd venture to guess that we're not going to have enough time to make the appointment, but that's only my opinion. If others feel that it's vital that we have 5, then we'll be hearing something real soon from the council about making that appointment. But like I said, with the election so near, I would venture to say we don't have a whole lot of time to make that decision. We're going to have to make it right really quickly. We'd have to get applications, we'd have to get nominations, we'd have to see who's really interested in it. So, I mean, we talked about, I was appointed a couple of years ago, and that took a process of almost 3-4 months. So,
yes.
So
and then you were elected and your seat was open again.
And then we did it again. So, you know, we have 1 appointed position already. That would be 2 appointed positions out of the 5 if we made that appointment. So really a decision that needs to be made, but not that critical if we have to use 4 to vote on. It would be critical if we go split something 2-2, then the rules would, then we'd try to, I think it dies if it's a 2-2 vote.
Mm-hmm.
So
now let me ask, and I might add, I know there are you can only legally keep the seat open for such and such amount of time. I know John Cotty will bring you back, the city attorney, a report, and you'll know all your options and everything. And if push really came to shove, since we are having an election and they are going to be, there's 2 open seats. Andy Sobel, who's running for election, he was appointed 2 years ago. And then they've got Clint's seat, which is open, and we've got 4 candidates. So depending on who wins, maybe they could even assume their seat sooner.
Yeah, I don't know. We haven't discussed that with John yet. I know we discussed, he mentioned that we do have timeframes in which we can't have to appoint, but we're well within the time frame. So we will, our option is that we could do nothing and allow it to go.
Sure. Okay, well that's good. Yes, I was worried about the time frame.
Yeah, so he did give us that option and said you're well within the time frame to not do anything. So that was just a general information. Like I said, we can't discuss it until we put it on the agenda.
Absolutely, absolutely. You can tell Peggy though. You know? But anyway, okay, now there's been buzz about the fact that they're talking about housing in the commercial area in town, and people usually think of downtown when they think of the commercial area, and we've got plenty of them though in town. And we also already do have a certain amount of housing in some of those areas. So I know that's going to be ministerial, and those decisions, we're the first, so that's kind of exciting.
Yeah, it's kind of exciting. Our planning director, with the directives from the state to increase our housing units, he brought this forward, and the council agreed that they would allow by right certain housing units within a commercial zone. So it passed, and I believe it comes back for the final review and adoption. But it was the first reading, I believe, the last time. And, you know, like I said, it might be a double-edged sword because council might not see it. I mean, we can give direction to staff as to what we really want, but if it meets all the criteria, then the developer is by right allowed to progress into the process. It's supposed to make it more streamlined for them. Much like what happened with the Granny Flats a couple of years ago when the governor decided we needed that housing, the Granny Flats, the additional units were dictated by the state, so the cities were required to abide by it. So much the same way, housing is critical, and that might take us to Limoneira and see how great they're doing from our response that we got in the presentation from Limoneira. I think
they've got that 1,500 coming up. I mean, they don't have 1,500 units now, but that's what their build out is at this point.
Right, and if you look at Santa Paula, there's 3 developments that are going right now that we never had for many, many years. So they're all seem to be doing very well. They're all selling. Obviously, the interest rates are very favorable right now.
Very low.
So Limoneira, as I think most of them are all sold. As they become available, they're being sold. There's only 1 or 2 or 3 that are even available each of the different neighborhoods. So they are anxious and trying to get them built as quickly as they can, which is good for the city.
Absolutely. And you know what's good too for the consumer is I guess they've got a builder too that's going to be doing 1-story homes.
Yes. I think there was a huge, I guess they started getting a lot of questions, and initially there wasn't going to be any 1-stories, and those, because of the cost of building them and the size. So I guess the demand outweighed their thought process, and now they're building those 1-stories and getting premium dollars for them. So
yes, absolutely.
I think the amenities that are out there, we talked a little bit about the park that's going to go out there, and how we're going to have to phase it, looks like, because the city really, although we're doing okay, the park costs have gone up over the last 15 years since the initial process. So we're going to have to phase it a little bit and get as much as we can in the first phase, and hope that we can get money to build the rest of it. So, and Limoneira may come back because there's thought of building more homes. If they build more homes, then they may have to pay chip in for the second phase of the park.
Sure. Yeah, I know that the city has approximately 11 million.
Yes, it's 11 million what was given to us, and I think we had some community forums in which the requests were made and what was important to the community, and putting all those together, I think the initial estimate came in at 23 million to build it. And so, as I said, we don't have 23 million, we have 11 million. So we'll be phasing it in and get some of the important features there, and also stub outs. So some of the lighting might not go in for the ball fields, but all of the conduit will be there so that we can do it much easier in the second phase.
Any idea when they're going to actually start work? I know they have a time frame, I think, that's tied to the number of houses that are sold or occupied.
Yes, there is a time frame, and as they're anxious to get started because of that time frame, because they have to get the homes built. The sooner they get the park built, the more homes they can build. So
Right.
So they're anxious to get it started. We also have applied for a grant that was also approved at the last city council to request money from the state. We didn't get it last year, but we gained experience. We were able to talk to grant providers at the state level, and they gave us some hints as to how we could better serve and actually be successful. So we're hoping that we can get success in that grant application and also add to that money. So there's a couple of avenues that we're looking at to see if we can get more money.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's what it's all about, and certainly, I mean, it's 37 acres out there, and I think what is approximately 22 acres would be active park space, and that's soccer fields and ball fields and an amphitheater, and and then I guess the big expense is what are you going to do with a water feature or a pool, so that really
the decision needs to be made about a water feature. What is it going to be?
Yeah, so, absolutely. Well,
there's space available for the water feature. It's not going to be in the first phase.
No.
There is space. Also, gymnasium, people wanted that. There's space for it. We're probably not going to start. That won't be in the first phase. And we talked about bathrooms and snack bars and all those things. That one's an active snack bar where they can actually cook. The other one would be more or less packaged food and that type of thing for ball games. So a lot of things going on, a lot of important decisions that the city has to make. I mean, every time I open my packet, it's a huge 500-page packet, whether it's bonds issues or park or something. It all seems to be falling on this council. So I think we're through most of the important decisions. So hopefully till the election time and we get a whole new direction on what the two new council people will be.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I know. Speaking of snack bars, you do have a full plate. So, and you can do a lot with packaged hot dogs in a microwave. So,
Yep.
Now, also now I know we're having a big city meeting next week. They're going to be having a police forum. And would you tell us about that? I think I've had a lot of comment on that.
Yes. I mean, with the national movements that are going on in the police and whether to cut police and add police services or add social services. So we really decided we should have a community forum. Let's really find out what's important to the citizens of Santa Paula. If we need a really strong police department, which I feel we do, but there was also debate on social services, which if hopefully the public understands are usually through the county level. The county keeps a lot of that money for those particular social services. So it's really up to the county, although we can ask for it and we can demand some of it, but it's county services. We would have to really cut some of our services to make a contribution to those services. So those are things that are important.
Behavioral health.
So we are going to have on October 1st, we're going to have an open forum. Unfortunately, with COVID, it's going to have to be online. We will take questions beforehand, and the interim police chief I think, will be there. The police union will be there, and there'll be other activists that have decided they would participate. So I understand you're going to be the MC. Are you the MC?
I'm one of the moderators. I'm not too sure exactly. I think Jose Melgar and maybe also John Marquez, I guess we'll go ahead and.
Okay. Yeah, and I should be there also, and that's what I'm told. I've got it blanked out for some time there, but.
Yeah, absolutely. Well,
so the public is invited. I mean, it's very vital to voice your opinion. Really, let's see what you really want, and that's, we're in the process of hiring the new police chief, and so let's see what's going on in the city of Santa Paula.
Absolutely, and people will be able to watch it again, because it's going to be taped and all that. It'll be on kadytv.net as well as Channel 10, and I imagine it'll probably be, I think they're going to live stream it on maybe the Facebook page of the chamber, and then I know there'll be copies to watch after the fact so people can stay engaged in the subject and, you know, watch it. And if they have something, they're always welcome to write letters to the editor or come and address the council, or not come and address the council, but, you know, virtually address the council.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you and I talked right before we started. There's so much going on in the city. I mean, we could talk for hours at this Good Morning Santa Paula, just on COVID alone, all the changes that are happening. As of this week, the governor made some changes, and the county is requesting some changes to our numbers because they're counting some of the inmates along in our numbers, and some of those inmates aren't even Ventura County residents. They're here serving time. So so those things, although we're in the purple zone right now, which does not allow us to open certain businesses, as restaurants is one of the basic, and you alluded to that it has hit restaurants hard, and Garmin's was one of them. We definitely need to try and get open. I mean, we're feeling it all over. COVID is one of those things that they put together a tiered system, and although we're far below in some areas, we're still high in one area, and it's not allowing us to move forward. And we have to be there within 2 weeks. We believe, I was in the call yesterday, we believe that we are there. We will be there for 2 weeks. So we're hoping 2 weeks we may be able to open at least 25% of the restaurant.
Yes, I was going to ask you how much you can open. And of course, with winter coming, like, I'm sure it's going to come one of these days, but with winter coming, you want to get customers out of the elements. I mean, you know, everybody's enjoyed the patio dining and things like that, and it's an adventure, but, you know, everybody wants to go back inside too when it gets cold and windy.
Yeah, we're making plans at our place and getting the heaters out and making sure they're working, getting the propane units out. So
yeah, that's true. That's true. But now also, I guess, as far as like count, since it has the Santa Paula zip code, it's counted as Santa Paula, even though it's so, and that's an interesting thing, because when they talk about people that have it, like, how many of them actually live in Santa City limits? So that I could see where that would skewer the numbers, and because we're pretty high. You know, we're at 847, I think.
Yeah.
And of course, that's all since March 18th, when we had our first case reported out here. So, you know, it's not like it's what it is right now. Yeah. Well, I know it's been tough on business owners, Rick, and I can only compliment you and your brothers and your sister for, you know, keeping your enterprise going. Lakabani, I'll throw that in.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, but anyway, so anything else you'd like to add, or anything going on we should know about, or?
Oh, well, like I said, a lot of things going on. The election's the next real important thing. Everybody get out there, and they should have got their ballots now. Get out there and there is a forum for the candidates. I'm not even sure which day that is, but there is a League of California Women's Voters.
Absolutely.
They're going to get there because they do it annually.
Yes. I'll have to double check, but I believe that might be Monday, October 5th, but I'll have to check.
Yeah,
and that's, they're going to do the League. They're going to have the education forums on September 30th.
Yes, so everything's coming real quick.
Yeah, that's coming real quick. Thursday night's going to be the police forum, and then the following Monday, let's see, will that be the following Monday? That's the 5th?
The 5th would be
the following Monday. And then
that's also the Boys and Girls Club golf tournament, and they're definitely needing some money, and so get out there and support the Boys and Girls Club as well.
Absolutely, yes, and people can play golf. You know, I mean, that's okay, and they've got the guidelines, the COVID guidelines, and yes, people should support the Boys and Girls Club because they've been hit very, very hard, and you know, they're a nonprofit and they watch the kids, and when people do start going back to work, they're going to need them more than ever for making sure the kids get the homework done, and, you know, the whole bit. And
yeah, and I think after today, I noticed that they were paving in front of the Boys and Girls Club. So Harvard is being paved from 12th Street on to the bridge. So,
wonderful.
So our paving program is moving right along. I hope everybody's happy with what's going on, because we made a tremendous push to get some of that money to get moving on it. So we realize we have a long way to go. There's still important streets that need to be repaved, but we are hitting it hard. So our Public Works Department has done a tremendous job. Like I said, today I just drove through, and Harvard should be finished today from 12th all the way to Main Street.
Wow, that's amazing. And you know what else, too, is that people don't understand, and it's hard to figure road work. It's not, you know, because I would get some calls from people, and they're rightfully concerned. They say, well, it doesn't seem like they're working on my street anymore or whatever. Well, that's because once they get them all dug out, and they've got another block 2 blocks away that's dug out, and another one over here, they're only going to want to bring that asphalt truck out once to do all those surfaces, because that saves a lot of money.
Right.
And so a lot of it it's not just your street, it's a street behind you or over there, and then, but it all gets done. That's the main thing. It all gets done.
Yes. Well,
they are looking good. I've been getting some very positive comments from people, and I'm not seeing the jokes as much as I was seeing before on social media.
Well, you know, and I understand it was frustrating because many years they were really not taken care of, and now when we took over as council, this last council, it was a high priority, made it a high priority, and Dan, our city manager, took it to heart, as along with Cleet, our public works director, and they've done a tremendous job.
Yeah, they really hit the accelerator on it, and thanks to the council for, you know, making it such a priority. All right, well, listen, Rick, as always, it's a pleasure seeing you. I'm sure you're playing with that grandbaby all the time.
Oh, unbelievable, unbelievable. Yeah, we're excited. I think my phone's lit up with pictures.
I did. You know, it's probably when I had my granddaughter, and I'd say to people, do you want to see a couple hundred pictures? Here, let me start to show you. Well, wonderful. Well, good. Well, the best to you and your family, and you all stay well. And I'll see you next week, virtually or in person, for the police forum. Okay.
I'll at least see you at the forum. So, yeah, if not sooner.
Okay. Thank you so much, Rick.
Thanks a lot, Peggy. Bye-bye.
And once again, I'm Peggy Kelly. This is Good Morning Santa Paula. That was our mayor, Rick Ariza. Be sure to watch this on KADY-TV channel, .net. And if you watch it on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe. It's free. It'll also be shown on channel 10 and on a revolving basis. And this is the way that you're going to find out what's happening in Santa Paula, which is the center of our universe. So thank you so much. Have a wonderful weekend and stay safe.